Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh here with a full slate of games, just 4 teams that are not playing today, as we've got 14 games on the slate. We're going to be taking a look at some sides and totals in this one. Got some player props as well for you, as always. So make sure to subscribe to that channel. Continue to follow along with us the rest of this season. We're going to have an All-Star episode 2, so we will get that last slate of games on Thursday before the break and then get into some All-Star stuff with you. So make sure you check that out. But let's kick it off with the Pels and the Heat here. And you believe in New Orleans right now more than Miami.
In the world of tankers, Josh, the Pelicans are king. I guess they were ahead of the curve by getting rid of their draft picks, so they didn't have to lose games on purpose. I mean, that's not really the sole purpose of the cap here. I mean, the real heart of it is that Herb Jones is back. He did not get traded. Trey Murphy did not get traded. These guys are locked in, and the Pels are actually good with them actually playing and not just being shopped around or injured. I mean, they went 3-20 this year when Herb Jones was out, just like absolutely abysmal stuff. Other guys were out too. But now with him back, these last 9, they're 6-3 ATS. All 3 fails to cover have been on the road. They are 3-1 straight up. Their last 4 at home with a close loss to Detroit. Number 1 scoring in the restricted area, number 5 net in those home games. And defensively with Herb, top 3 above the break 3-point defense, top 10 limiting free throws, limiting assists, and field goal percentage overall. Then let's look at the Heat and their struggling offense. I mean, without Norman Powell, it's going to be bad again here. They're 2-7 their last 9 without Powell, 109 rating. Chance Andrew Wiggins does not play, and that would really hurt their defense against all these wings here for the Pels. And it would also force more minutes for Kel'el Ware alongside Bam, which is frankly just been a disaster all season. You look at some of the net rating stuff, like they just cannot play together. I don't understand why they didn't move Ware. I mean, they tried to, for Giannis, but that's neither here nor there. And then the weird thing about the Heat just being like one of the worst teams in the NBA in the third quarter, they're 26th in net rating in the third. So even if this is kind of close, the Pels might pull away in the second half after they make some adjustments. They're number 4 in defensive rating in this 9-game span that I'm talking about in the third quarter specifically. So just, parsing it real down to the small stuff, but really it's just, I don't really believe in the Miami Heat.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that's fair. I'm not really sure where they're turning at this point. The sort of like core of their offense is just not around these days. So Pels don't have anything to lose for. We keep talking about it. So I'm with it. But let me get to another Eastern Conference look here. Got the 76ers at home, got the Knicks playing. Joel Embiid's questionable every game. This is the type of game that I expect him to play in. And some of the games that he's missed recently were pretty predictable as well, though they did suffer a tough loss as a result. Like I still think Philly coming in against New York here with New York on the road is a big part of this. And I mean, New York still just hasn't figured out. They have some big wins recently. They're at home. They're against poo-poo competition. They've taken advantage of some stuff. They do have a win against Philly with Embiid at home recently. And I think that's just all going to be the difference maker now is Philly being at home versus New York being at home. It's really just that simple. It's a little bit of a get back. The Knicks, as good as they've been against, like I said, some bad competition over the course of the last roughly 8 games, 7 games or so. It's still just mostly been defense against bad teams. They've actually had a lot of missed shots open, a lot of uncontested shots that have been missed, as Mike Brown's defense does tend to do that, right? They tend to force the ball out of the hands of the guy that they don't want to have it. But at this point, where do you go with that? You've got 2 guys with massive usage. You are going to have Mitch Rob back, so we'll see if he gets a bunch more minutes. But as good as he's been on the offensive boards, there's still just such a big decline with him on the floor on the offense. And granted, the net rating still evens out because the defensive rating gets better because they can actually protect the rim a bit. But if Joel's out there, what we've seen, especially in the last game when Mitch Rob was guarding him, that brings him away from the basket. And that's just not good for Mitch. He's still capable of guarding guys at the 3-point line. He's still a very good versatile big man, but it's not going to be the same level of rim protection at that point for a defense that's totally predicated on drop D. So there's a lot of matchup stuff here. I'm still just not convinced about the Knicks, and I think the stock is still on the rise, or at least stably in a good spot for Philly. And I'm not sure what to expect with the Knicks with the injuries that they've had. I suppose OG is probably coming back in this one, but I'm still not impressed even when they've had him out there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a huge swing for me. Like OG Anunoby might be the most underrated guy for the point spread in the league right now. They've just looked like absolute garbage without him these last 3 games here. So I'm fully on board with this if they don't have OG. But either way, it's a tough spot for the Knicks after that OT game for sure. Looking at the Suns here, back to back, but they let their foot off the gas last night and got hooked there on the Mavs team total at 111 because they gave up 36 in the fourth quarter because they were like, you guys are not even a serious basketball team. We have bigger fish to fry tomorrow. Suns absolutely smacked the Mavs. And I don't know why we would expect Devin Booker to necessarily sit on the second leg of a back to back. I mean, he's ultra competitive. I think he definitely wants to play. And this is still a revenge spot, I guess, both ways, because the Suns did get the win after getting absolutely annihilated by OKC early in the NBA Cup there. But I mean, yeah, they're just going to come with it at home. We talked going into that Mavs game how good they've been there in Phoenix. And the offense kind of really taken off here with Book back. I mean, holy assist to 3-point ratio, 32 dimes, and they got 50 attempts off. Granted against Dallas, but that's important against OKC, which is basically going to sag in and be like, can you hit threes? And the Suns are like, yes, we can. They're also a team you absolutely want to back as dogs. Now 8-2 ATS as home dogs, covered 7 of the last 8 overall as dogs, 3-1 straight up their last 4 back-to-backs, including some tough spots. I mean, beat the pants off Cleveland on a back-to-back when we thought they were going to sit some guys. They won in Philly. And Thunder still without SGA and AJ Mitchell as the backup creator. The offense was struggling for a while against the Lakers. Managed to pull it out late. Really a lucky cover. Tough beat for myself with the +7 there. But I mean, also just the freaking Thunder with their cheap hand checks. Like, I just want to root against this team right now. Like, I mean, they get so handsy with you. They dare the official to call everything. And I think the Suns with Dylan Brooks are the one team that can kind of be like, look, if that's the way it's going to be called, like, we can do that too, right? And they will get into the Thunder and be like, you don't have your guy, so what are you going to do now? Like, how are you going to generate offense? And I think it'll be a dogfight down the stretch.
Probably, yeah. I just think it's too much. That's all it is, and it's a lot of what you're saying is like just too many points. Whatever you think of OKC right now, whatever you think about Phoenix coming off the back to back, I suppose if Book is like officially just it's labeled that he's playing or whatever, then this probably goes up. But again, there seems to be good indication that like he's back, and so like he's not missing back to backs against a team that they could definitely use a win against in the Western Conference. So I'm going to go to Denver here. I'm going to take points in this one. I don't like Memphis at all, but I also really don't like Denver's defense here over the course of the last 5. You can make the case for sure that since, Jokic has come back, they've only played really, really good teams outside of like Chicago, basically. And they've been on a pretty tough streak as a result. But still, the pace for Memphis is way up. The defense is gone. There is no such thing as defense anymore in Memphis for real. At this point, like they can't protect the rim, and they're just throwing a hodgepodge of guys out there, all playing between 24, 28 minutes, essentially. None of them able to protect the rim. I'll say that. And really, as far as wing defense goes, too, it's just like a bunch of point guards. It's like you got Scottie Pippen Jr. out there, and you got Cam Spencer playing, and you got Ty Jerome playing. Where's the defense coming from? There is none. Same time for Denver, since they've been back, 121 on the D rating there. All their games have been really close. They should win this game by a good amount. They really, really should. They're at home. I believe in them to do it. There's a bit of stars out, bets up for the Grizzlies, though, where it's like, yeah, they've been just absolutely terrible on defense, but on offense, they've been able to hang. And again, that pace is really just making up for any blemishes that they've been having on offense anyway. I mean, they're still going to look terrible on defense, but they're playing at 103 pace here in the last seven games, and just really like any combination of the last like 7 to 10 games. They're playing at a just blistering pace because that's what they've got. And that's a bit of the reason you see everybody gets 24 minutes is so that everybody's fresh all the time. It's like an 11-man rotation, and it's not really conducive for like strong competitive defense, but it is for energy and guys playing in transition. And that's what Memphis is going to do, because if they're not, that offense is just beyond stagnant.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we've seen for years now when Pippen comes in as the juice behind Morant, they actually go up in pace. Now it's Pippen and Ty Jerome just cooking people in the half court as many minutes as he's allowed to play. So I think Memphis can hang in this game, and that's part of the reason I like the Joker, who is going to be going up against a team that does not have a center, does not have anything close to a center, right? I mean, Omax missed the last game. I guess he'll be back. I'm talking about Max Prosper. Nowhere close to big enough. I guess Kyle Anderson probably starts on Jokic in this game, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. And I think when I'm how do you want to play this? If you can get a triple double under -20, minus 120. That is, I think you should. But I think the RA is what you lean on. It's like he's definitely getting double digits those. So why not just tack on 4 more and take the RA and be like, maybe he doesn't feel like, this is beneath me. I don't need to score on this team, but he's going to gobble up boards against a fast-paced team. In the last 7 with no center, the Grizz allowing 18.4 boards to centers. That's by far the most. In the last 3 since they truly pulled the plug on the tank here, allowing 31 assists per game. Only the Bulls are allowing more, and Jokic just had 17 dimes in a runaway victory over the Bulls. I mean, the Nuggets, like to your point, they don't blow out anybody because they don't play serious defense. At least not with Aaron Gordon. That's why this thing could trend over. It could trend close, and as long as he's out there, like he should absolutely rack up stats against this team. 8 of the last 10 centers to face Memphis have gone over, including 38 PRA for Derek Queen, who doesn't play much, 37 for Jock Landale, who is by no means versatile, 42 to Donovan Clingan. Is that a career high? I mean, probably. And actually, the RA stuff does really boost a lot when Christian Brown plays for Jokic. It makes sense. I mean, he's just kind of like this speedster cutter revolving around him, makes it a lot easier to open the floor and for him to drop these dimes that are high percentage dimes. And he's at 24 potentials in the last 3 since Brown came back.
Yeah, this was 22.5 last game. He sailed over it. And this is what I was talking about last game too, is I continue to believe a bit more in that than the scoring for him. And I don't know that he'll have to do, once again, the scoring in this game. Like probably a lot of tip-ins, a lot of just standing under the basket and just being like, oh, you missed it? Okay, I'm holding off 2 guys with 1 arm, and then here's a little tip-in, playing taps at the rim for him. But that's still just going to lead to a ton of boards on both sides of the floor. So this man right here, Jalen Suggs, is a wagon, I suppose we should say, when it comes to the RA right now. And this number still is at 10.5. So it was 10.5 last game against Milwaukee. It's the same game. Some of the sort of, I guess, hesitancy in the market and things keeping it at the same number 1 game later would be they're likely to blow them out again. And it's right before the All-Star break. It's a weird day overall on Wednesday. We should at least get that out there a bit, that like be a little bit, temper your plays a little bit. Everything's going to look good against some team. Everything's going to look good for Orlando players against Milwaukee. Everything's going to look good against Washington. Just be a little bit like weary of it and take the things that you think still have value. And for me with Jalen Suggs, like you could still project him based on just his like recent potentials on both the boards and the dimes. He's at roughly a 13 RA projection. He's averaging about like 15 potentials here on the assists. Also looking at about 12 potentials on the boards per game, like 11-ish. So I think there's still a really good reason to think that with everybody in, Franz, whomever, it doesn't matter at this point. Like Jalen Suggs is getting low to mid 30s unless he doesn't have to. And even in the like first half of last game, I believe he had 9 RA going into the half, and then it was pretty much over in the second half. And I would bank on a lot of that happening again. And he has been such a connector for them. Really the only guy that like plays that level of just like all over the court, just tenacity, right? I mean, Desmond Bane is a good defender, is a guy like that, but there's nobody else in the backcourt besides Suggs that's bringing that level of like athleticism and just sort of playing like a linebacker essentially. So I think that unique style play for him will continue to be the reason that he's involved in all the mixing up the rebounds and the dimes, etc. Milwaukee's bad. I don't need to tell you about the matchup right now. They're in full tank. So I think Suggs is gonna be good to go in this one.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee's so bad that it's not a situation where I would back the points here for Suggs. I don't think he's going to feel like he has to fire. But to your point, yeah, I mean, he's going to be the connector. He's going to help them pull away, put this team away. It looks like Ryan Rollins might not go. So, I mean, he'll be out there on KPJ. I think this game is going to be pretty low scoring. It's going to be the kind of game Suggs has his fingerprints on. Yeah, you mentioned the Wiz here with the Cavs minus 17. It's crept down a little bit here at home, but it's a huge spread. And so I like Dennis Schroder. I'd like it even if it was a close game because he's the 3rd most important creator here with Harden and Donovan Mitchell. And like they've talked about how they haven't had a chance to practice together yet, Mitchell and Harden. Well, here's a chance for a live practice, right? You're playing on air, 5-on-0. The Wiz, who allow the most field goal attempts at the rim. So you can go ahead and just walk in there, see if you can score over Alex Sarr for as many minutes as he's allowed to play. Vucevic, whoever's out there. So it's an easy matchup for a guy like Schroder who loves to drive. In his last 5 against Washington, which Law's been for 4 different teams, he's averaged 15.6 points, 4.8 dimes, 27 minutes per game. 2 of those were when he was like the man. The last 3 just in a bench role, though, 21 minutes a game. He's at 16 PA. And the projection tonight for us is 14.5 PA. So big edge here. You look at the blowout at the Clips. He goes for 11, 2, and 6 in just 19 minutes. And I think that could continue to ramp up. I mean, he's third in passes, fourth in touches, and actually has more dribbles per touch than Harden in these 3 games with the guys together, as he's just trying to create some stuff off these other 2 guys who probably are going to be down to chill in the second half if this thing is out of hand, as the spread indicates.
Yeah, I think this is a good look. I mean, I also think like maybe some Keon Ellis. Like I was trying to figure out who's just going to get burned in a blowout, and I mean, I could still see James Harden getting some run to be like, hey, let's get some team chemistry. But if none of the other starters are even on the floor with him, I don't know. You keep him out there, and you've got the backups to just sort of give them the game and not worry about anything. If you're up 15 points, let's say you're not destroying them, but you're up 15 in the middle to end of the third, you might still just see Dennis Schroder take and Keon Ellis out there, right? Maybe some Sam Merrill, but probably not. Like it's All-Star break week, and this is the guy that I think is a good look in this one too. And like I keep mentioning, Keon Ellis will be the other one I think will be a guard in when this thing gets out of hand. And before this thing gets out of hand, I think Jarrett Allen will be a big reason that it does get out of hand. The points are actually good at 15.5. If this was a normal game and I wasn't expecting that, the market didn't have this listed as an 18-point spread, essentially, then I'd be like, yeah, this is insane. But that's why the double-double is even what it is for him. The points at 15.5 seem high, but nobody has benefited more from James Harden, unsurprisingly, than Jarrett Allen. In fact, the spot ups are actually suffering a bit as Harden is able to get into the lane. They played some doo-doo competition too since he's gotten there, and that's helped him get into the lane and then find Jarrett Allen on lobs and things of that nature. But he's definitely getting he's a huge beneficiary of that move there. Now we're talking about him going up against the worst defense. I think it's safe to call them that. I know there's a couple teams that would like a word with them, but ain't nobody tanking like the Wizards. I would say the Pelicans are actually the worst of the tankers because they're currently not in any position to do anything, and they're actually pretty good. This squad here is just like, yeah, there's nothing there, and we've got Koulibaly and Keyshawn George questionable. You're already a team full of backups, man. You're talking about having these 2 guys not even play. Like, yeah, there's no way it's being taken seriously. If you want to feel safe about something and you have first half props for Jarrett Allen, or even like first quarter, I think is like 4.5 points, something to that nature, you can go that route because he'll be in at the beginning of the game. But there's just no resistance to centers going up against the Wizards, so he could absolutely have the double-double by halftime.
Yeah, I mean, what could have been, right? If Jarrett Allen was not part of that Brooklyn Nets trade that's got James Harden in, like you got to wonder if those guys are like, damn, like we could have played together. We're such a perfect fit as far as the roll dive man, and they're thriving together. Yeah, so I mean, I think the points could even hit, even if it's like 2.5 quarters of action for Jarrett Allen. But the double-double is also a good bet.
Yeah, I think, this was actually plus money to open, and people were like, I don't care that this is going to be a blowout. I'm taking Jarrett Allen, and that's how I feel about it. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Coming back to you with Thursday action and an All-Star game here, All-Star weekend video for you as well. So until we see you next, happy betting.